Welcome everyone to our December Parks and Rec Board meeting. I will read the appeal of decisions. Somewhere here. Appeal of decisions. Pursuant to the provisions of 2.68.030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, please take notice that decisions of the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under a common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the board. Any person or other entity considering an appeal should consult with an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met. We'll move to the consideration of minutes, assuming everyone read them and there are no changes of the minutes. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Were there any changes?
So moved.
A second? All those in favor? Opposed? The minutes carry. Do we have any Metro Council referrals today?
We do not.
We do not?
No council people present either.
I think Councilman John Cooper is here. I walked in with. There he is.
There you are.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Old business 08-17-05, Mr. Dan Dummenmuth, representing the Northwest YMCA, requests approval for the Metro Parks to acquire and take over operation of the Northwest YMCA during the year of 2018 and manage the facility as a regional center. The board of the Y emailed us and asked that this be deferred to the February meeting. So we'll take this back up in February. Moving on to the consent agenda. Entertain a motion to consider the entire consent agenda unless there are any changes altogether.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
A second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda carries. Let's see here, hang on. 12-17-02, board approval. I'm sorry.
No business.
Oh, God, this
That's part
consent, is that part of the?
That's consent agenda. It's part of the consent.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, all right, I thought it was a separate item. Sorry about that. Okay, all right, sorry about that. All right, moving on to new business. We're at 12-17-03. The Nashville Old Timers Baseball Association requests board approval to name Shelby Park Baseball Diamond No. 2 in honor of a native Nashvilleian and baseball enthusiast. I think we have a special presenter today.
We do.
Former director, Tommy Lynch. Welcome, Tommy, back into the room.
I appreciate it, and I am here today. I understand your normal procedure would be to defer this request and to have a committee meeting for January, and so I'm totally prepared for that. It is a request that is consistent with the board policy in the sense that this person has been involved with baseball through Nashville and the Parks Department for over 30 years, since 1985, as a matter of fact. Presently, at one point in time, and I have to give you a little history, I'm sure I'm on a 3-minute timer, and I always stretch that. But at one point in time, as Dr. Brandon knows, with the Parks Department and the school board cooperated together on very many activities that were park operations, but that were done on school property. And this person's first involvement was at what we used to call Music City Park, which are the 2 baseball diamonds behind McMurray Junior High. They went through the park board in the 80s all the way up to almost 2003 when we discontinued our operations with the schools for the most part. And this person ran the baseball program at Music City from 1985 until 1999. And in 1999, he moved over to the Old Timers Baseball Association at Shelby Park and has been operating their baseball program at Shelby Park, which is our baseball program as well, since 1999. It gives him more than 30 years of contributions to the local baseball programs in Nashville. The Shelby Old Timers League has has high schools that still play ball on the ball field. They operate travel leagues throughout the Middle Tennessee. The players that have come through their program have been on, notice the Belmont folks here today. They have played on the Belmont University baseball team, the Cumberland University baseball team, Trevecca's baseball team, the national championship team for Vanderbilt University as well. All of this has come through Shelby Park, which has been a great addition to the Nashville Park system. David Price, Cy Young winner, played baseball at Shelby Park under this program. R.A. Dickey, Cy Young baseball winner, played baseball on this program. And the benefit to now making the naming of the second ball field after this individual also comes from his involvement with the Shelby Park Master Plan. As Tim can attest, he put sweat equity in the development of the second ball field. He brought expertise to the development of the second ball field. And that baseball facility at Shelby Park is one of the better baseball facilities in the country. The precedent that the park board has, we have Bob Harridge's field, which is the baseball field at Warner Park. They'd been named by the park board after Bob Harridge's. Jack Lavender Field at Seven Oaks Park had been named by the park board for Jack Lavender. It doesn't rename the park. It just offers a name for this ball field in honor of the person who put so much into that ball field and so much into the baseball community in Nashville. With that being said, hopefully I'm in within the 3 minutes, but I'd be glad to answer any questions that you would have about this request.
Does anyone have any questions?
What will we defer this?
Defer this to the naming committee. You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
We have
Defer it.
a motion to defer this to the naming committee. Second? Any discussion? All those in, yes.
For the record, can you say the name of the person we're naming it for? We have it, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Mickey Hyder.
Thank
He's been the gentleman for the Old Timers Baseball Association and at the Music City Baseball Association that's been doing this. And I know I can attest, but I think John can affirm that the involvement with the Parks Department and the Old Timers Baseball Association and Mr. Hyder has been a great partnership. It's been almost as good a partnership as the partnership with Belmont that we have had.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries to defer to the naming committee. And Tommy, was betting against you, but you were under 3 minutes. That was great.
I was trying to be quick, so we're right on the time because
We're gonna hit I was gonna start banging
I might
away.
get some tough questions by someone. Thank you.
I had to say that. All right, 12-17-04, Mr. Tim Pierce, representing Creative Parks Nashville. Requests consideration of the board to establish Creative Parks Nashville as an official volunteer support group to the Metro Parks Cultural Arts Division, Theater, Music, and Visual Arts.
GMC.
Mr. Pierce, I don't think he's here. Tim Pierce, he had emailed me a little while ago and said his son was sick at home and he was waiting for his wife to come spell him before he could get here. So Rachel and I are here and we could tell you, hold on Rachel.
Hello, Rachel.
Hold on. We could go ahead and cover it if you'd like,
Sure.
or we could put it off, but it's the next two
Yeah, please
items
do.
on the agenda. Well, so it's for the Cultural Arts Division of Parks. This would be the Friends Group replacing Arts in the Park. We've had some fits and starts on getting a good Friends Group going there, and we've now got a good solid group of folks that have filled out all the paperwork. I think you've got it in front of you. The incorporation with the state, the nonprofit status. They've been working actually through Rachel's assistance with the Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts through the ABC. So they've got all their ducks in a row and all their paperwork and everything in order. And they're ready to open up a bank account and become the official Friends Group for the theater, music, and visual arts portion of the cultural arts. And an example of what they would do is in the next item, which I can talk about in just a second. I don't know if Rachel may have some color commentary on what we'd like them to do or help us with. But.
When don't I have color commentary?
You guys, we're so excited about this new group. They are a group of people who are actually personally involved with our programming, mainly parents of kids who are in our program right now. So that's really exciting. They have such great investment in the program, and we think that they have super great ideas. They're all really excited about it, and we've been meeting monthly just to talk about how this would go down, and they're all just popping with ideas. It's a really exciting opportunity for us to get into this world of friends groups in a way we haven't previously, and we hope that it is an organization that can rival Friends of Metro Dance. So.
Our request would be for the board to consider approving this friends group.
Any questions? Entertain a motion for approval? Second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for that, and we'll move in conjunction with that to 12-1705, Creative Parks Nashville request board approval for application and ultimate acceptance of FY 2019 grant funding of up to $5,000 from the Tennessee Arts Commission Arts Project Support Grant to supplement a year of free Big Dan dances for the public. Jim?
So this is an example of our creative financing. This is a grant that the Big Band Dance, if you've not been, is one of the most popular things we do in the parks. It's 12 Saturdays in the summer. There's about 1,000 to 1,500 people show up every Saturday and dance. It's a wide range of people that show up, older, younger, all races, all colors, people from all over the place. It's a really, really a great event that we do every year. It's been going on for quite a long. How long, Mike?
This will be the 35th year.
36th year. And so what we historically do is apply to the Tennessee Arts Commission for a grant to help fund it, and then the Parks Department pays for the other half of the match. But this year we were another metro agency, which I'll remain unnamed, applied for the grant and knocked us out, so we couldn't apply as a department. But Creative Parks Nashville, the Friends Group, can apply for the grant, and then the Parks Department would apply the exact same money that we've always put into it and apply that as a match for that grant. So this would not be changing any amount of money that Parks put into it. It would be the same amount of money as we normally do. It would simply be Creative Parks Nashville applying for the Tennessee Arts Commission grant instead of the Parks Department applying for the grant. So we would ask the Parks Board to approve us, to give us the ability to go ahead and apply.
It is one of the great events that we have, one of the programs that we have.
I move to approve.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. Moving on to 12-17-06, Ms. Shane Dennison, representing the Conservation Assistance Grant Fund, request approval of acquisition of 118 acres on the Cumberland River, map 53, parcels 121, 136, and 137. Shane, please come up to the podium.
Hello. I would request that, per your normal routine, this be deferred to the Land Acquisition Committee before the next meeting. But this one and the next one on the agenda are the two applications we received for the Conservation Assistant Grant, which ultimately are for projects that would be owned by Metro Parks. So it needs Park Board approval. And it would also include a contribution of money toward the gap from the conservation grant and the grants that the private partners are bringing to it.
Any questions? Motion for approval?
Is to
I'm sorry, for
defer
deferral.
to the Land
For
Acquisition
deferral,
Committee.
Yeah, for deferral. A second, any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Next, 12-1707, again, Ms. Dennison, representing Conservation Assistance Grant Fund, requests approval acquisition of 4.6 acres on Highway 100, map 143, parcel 029.
This also,
situation?
same recommendation to the Land
Motion
Acquisition
for
Committee, deferral.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
I have one
Opposed?
question. Oh, sorry.
Motion carries.
I just have one question, just for confirmation or of comment. Both of these pieces of land are in the western Davidson County, is that correct?
I'm sorry,
Where,
Monique.
where are these,
Okay, the first one is in Madison, in Neely's Bend, the upper tip of Neely's Bend. The other one is across from Warner Park, next to the Birch Reserve.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the last item on new business, 12-17-08, staff request board approval for application and ultimate acceptance of NRPA 2018 instructor training grants for physical activity programs for Sportsplex and community center staff. If awarded, training and materials valued at $5,460 will be provided to 6 staff members. Staff will be trained in 3 programs to improve greater physical activity within the community.
Sherry?
And this actually, there's no money involved, but the training would be provided to the 6 staff, and it's a collaborative effort between the Sportsplex staff and the community programs. So it gives us opportunity to implement programs focused on improving programs for sedentary people and people with chronic disease, so that it's really a portion of our population that we really want to focus on improving their health.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Now, special presentations and introductions. Monique, you want to?
I will. So back in October of this year, the Tennessee Recreation and Parks Association had its annual state conference in Franklin, Tennessee, and our Parks Department, as usual, had a strong showing among award winners, and we want to acknowledge the award winners and then some of our community partners and volunteers as well. So the 4-star award for athletic programming went to our disabilities program, disability sports leagues. If Glenn Atkins will come forward, do you have anything you want to say? And then Dana also got an award, Dana Allen, for got the Dennis Rainier Award for the disabilities program. Go ahead, Secretary.
So our sports programs, a 4-star award, our participants in the disabilities program have long participated in Special Olympics. It's something that we've always done. But over the last 10 years, our program has gone from 30 people to we serve almost 80 every week now. And as it's grown, with the number of people, there's not always enough opportunity for them to compete in the Special Olympics. There's only so many spots at a Special Olympics event, and sometimes they can't take everybody. So in an effort to fix that, we developed our sports leagues to give all of the participants who are training and practicing an opportunity to have competitions. We have a bowling league, a flag football league, a soccer league, and a basketball league. Our bowling league runs year-round. We do 28 weeks out of the year. But our flag football, soccer, and basketball leagues are 4 to 6 week leagues. We have games on Fridays that are geared towards agencies. We have our groups that participate. We have the Rochelle Center, another local agency that participates, and a community-based program from Metro Schools that comes out and participates as well. And then our Saturday leagues, we do inclusion sports. So the teams consist of individuals with and without disabilities that come and play together on the fields. And it gives everybody more of an opportunity to compete, more opportunities to train outside of just the one-day Special Olympics events. We want to move over to Dana. In 2013, Tommy approached me, and he had asked, he had some questions from the public about sports leagues, and I had told him that we knew that we had a need for it. We had recognized that need within our programs, but that we needed staff. We couldn't do it with the staff that we had, and if we wanted to do something like that, we needed more staff. In 2014, Dana joined our group, and he was a perfect fit for what we had. He had background in working with individuals with disabilities, and he had been the athletic director for the YMCA in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, where he went to school while he was in college. So when Dana came over in 2014, I said, hey, Tommy is asking for this, and we know we have the need. Can you put this together? We spent 2 years collaborating on that and got a rough outline, and then He went out, he found sponsors to pay for the leagues, to keep the leagues free of cost for the participants. He found other contacts and got athletes involved. He did most of the PR work for getting more people in outside of just our day programs. So bringing this to fruition was really a big effort by Dana. This is why we nominated him for his
We just want you front and center. That's all.
So he spent 2 years putting it together, working out the kinks, writing a budget, finding sponsors, getting everything together. He got the uniforms together, placed all our big orders. He did a lot of the legwork to make this possible for what we have. And then while I'm here, can I go ahead and acknowledge the volunteer award?
Go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to do that as well.
So, along with our sports leagues, we also nominated a group called Sports for All for a volunteer service award. And Chris Salisbury is back here.
You're gonna do this one.
The Sports for All, we started working with them in 2008. In 2011, we started a program with them called Project Health that provides fitness activities 3 days a week for the participants in our disabilities program. And we have been doing that since 2011. When we had the idea for the sports leagues, we took the idea to them with what we wanted to do and asked if they could help be involved. And they took it and ran with it. They have helped provide volunteers and interns from their program at our sports leagues events that have acted as our officials, as our scorekeepers, and they also use their partnership with Belmont to help find inclusion partners for our inclusion leagues on Saturdays. So thanks to their hard work, we were able to not have to pay officials, referees, scorekeepers, which helped keep our costs down, which helped us to keep this free for the participants that are taking place. And their commitment to working with Belmont and bringing in partners has helped make our inclusion leagues on Saturdays beneficial for, one, our guys to interact with individuals without disabilities and to bring awareness of the disabilities community. So thank you, Chris and Sports for all of their hard work, is not only through the sports leagues for the last year and a half, but for what they've done before that for the last 12 years. So,
Thank you.
And if I could just add, in 2015, the program came to the Sportsplex. It relocated there, and it's one of the best days we've had. They're able to utilize the facility during the downtime where their participants are able to go skating, swimming. There's a really nice room in there that they're able to, that they call their home. It's been a great partnership. Misty and all the staff at the Sportsplex love having them there, and it's all just one big happy family, and it's really great. And these guys are amazing.
Congratulations, that's fantastic.
thank you.
Thank you. And so the next recipient received two awards, the Wayne Hansard Award and the Tennessee Urban Forestry Council's 2017 Government Employee Award of Excellence went to our very own Mr. Randall Lance.
Stand up, Randall.
Randall's reputation precedes him. You want
to say a few words? Come on, Randall.
Come on.
I can't follow that. I plant bushes, trees, and shrubs. So anyway, so you're old enough, you get these things. So thank you all very much.
Congratulations, great. And now for a special presentation, we'll ask Captain Chris Taylor. Huh? Not yet?
That's last.
Oh, well, you can do it last. You see me to do it. Go ahead.
Okay. We have the Benefactor Award that was also given at the TRPA. It went to Belmont University for their considerable contributions to our park system and to sports and athletics in Nashville.
Thank
you. Good afternoon. My name is Jason Rogers. I have the privilege of serving as Vice President for Administration and General Counsel at Belmont University. And in that capacity, I get to work with our Community Relations Office under the directorship of Joyce Searcy, who's back here. Our Director of Athletics, Scott Corley, is here. Our Associate Director of Athletics, Steve Barrick. And our Assistant Director of Communications, Hope Buckner, and Sam, our university photographer, came to document. We want to thank you all for submitting our name and honoring us with this award. Our partnership with Metro and with the community at Rose Park has been going on now in active status for 6.5 years now. And it truly has been a win-win-win for Metro, for Belmont, for the community. We look forward to many years of that joint partnership continuing and looking for opportunities to continue, to give opportunities for our students to become engaged in the community, specifically the Edge Hill community, opportunities for kids leagues and adult leagues all around the city to use those facilities at Rose Park. Those of you all may know that on average over the last year, Belmont was only using those facilities in total about 15% of the time during normal operating hours. The rest of the time it's available for the rest of the community, and that's exactly what we envisioned when we pursued this idea many years ago. So thank you so much for your partnership, for your support. We're excited about the future, and thank you for the work that you do for Metro.
Run up there.
Just hold on.
Hold on.
You should be in there too, George.
Oh my God. Terrible.
Well, we couldn't agree more, and I know it's been said many times, and we agree with your win-win-win. It's been a great partnership, so we appreciate that.
And the final award that we want to acknowledge today was the Volunteer Service Award. It was presented to Miss Adri Rhodes for her dedication and volunteer service at Watkins Park Community Center. Is Ms. Rhodes here?
I've been around parks for 20-plus years, but in the past 3 years since I've been superintendent, I'm getting to Alonzo too. Since I've been visiting Watkins Park Community Center, Miss Rhodes has been, every time I've been there to visit and check in on what Alonzo needs, her son is Alonzo Rhodes, the manager at Watkins Park Community Center. But I know you're a long-term resident of the community, a long-term supporter of the community center and the park and the children and the seniors program, and she's always a happy face and welcoming to anyone that walks in the door, whether she's answering the phone, handing out snacks. Trust me, go by and you will see her there. We need to, I tell her, we need to hire you because you're there a lot. But we have this certificate for you and want to appreciate the work you do for us. Thank you very much.
I enjoy it.
Now it's time for that presentation. For Captain Chris Taylor, step forward and.
Lieutenant Taylor's actually retiring after 36 years of service. What's customary is after 25 years, when an officer retires, they take their badge and their gun with them. Obviously, it's something Mr. Anderson and Director were kind enough to sign for us. I asked Director Lynch to step up here because if you knew Houston and Tommy, then you knew if we couldn't find Houston, we usually just looked in Tommy's office and he was right around the corner. So, but come on up here, Houston. So, his retirement party is going to be this Friday. So.
Houston, you want to say a few words?
Yeah, it's been a long time, and I grew up in these parks, especially Centennial, because I grew up in the Sylvan Park area and used to ride my bike to fish in the lake, and a lot of history around here that a lot of the officers don't know that I tell them about as time goes along, and it's been great. My intentions were to come here to work 3 years and go to U.S. Park Police, but I liked it and I stayed. So I've enjoyed it. So it's been great. And all the park board members that I've worked through the years, Stan and George and Monique and everybody, so it's been great.
Well, we're glad you didn't go to the U.S. Park Service. You've been so dedicated, and you've been great, and you're going to be really missed. And I'll just say that personally. You've been a good friend, so thank you for all your service.
Thank you.
Now we have our next special presentation. Mr. Thomas Woltz, representing Nelson Bird Woltz Landscape Architects, will present the Stones River and Southeast Master Plans to the board. Welcome, Thomas.
Thank you, George. I'm nothing without my pictures. So just give me a minute.
As many of you may or may not know, Thomas has also been working on Centennial Park Master Plan, doing a fabulous job, and we're glad you're on another project for us. So,
Thank you. It's been a tremendous honor for Nelson Bird Woltz to be back in Nashville and working on these fantastic park projects.
And while this is loading up, one thing I would like to acknowledge the rest of the team. You know, at every meeting I've been giving you a little status update on these two master plan projects, and this team has really killed it. These are rock solid plans. We're really excited about them.
I think he means that in the positive.
The community has been very responsive, and these are just such incredible sites that they're really going to be critical new destinations within the park system. But other members of the team are Richie Jones, principal with Hodgson & Douglas, local landscape architects, Chloe Hawkins with NBW. Rebecca Rotz has really been the project manager on this and has been really brought a lot of expertise and strength to the process and has done a great job. Tara Armistead with Tara Armistead Landscape Architects, and Chris Mantle with Hodgson & Douglas.
And Michael Pavin.
Oh, there's Michael. Michael Pavin with Collier Engineering. Snuck in, Michael.
Well, you scooped my whole first.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Chris, can you flip the mic?
Well, thank you so much. It is indeed a pleasure to be presenting to you today the fruit of 10 months of incredible collaborative work. This really could not have happened without the visionary work of Plan to Play, something that I find myself describing in other states and other countries as we do our work elsewhere, about what a careful, thoughtful, and visionary document it was to look holistically at your region and decide who were the citizens most in need. Being trusted with a responsible answer to that question has been an honor for our entire expanded team. The first issue, though, is these are two pieces of land, one 800 acres and one nearly 600 acres, 580, that were land banked. So they didn't really exist in the consciousness of the citizens of Davidson County. So how do you begin a process of engaging the public when they don't think of them as parks yet? So we came up with an idea of a passport. And let's bring people to the land. Let's show them the extraordinary pieces of property that Metro Parks, through really visionary land acquisition, have accumulated over the years. We invited them to come for a full day of hay rides, of food trucks, activities, and this passport idea was that through our research with our team, we had identified key places that had either cultural historic value, old home sites, cemetery sites, farm areas, really interesting plant communities, and we had ecologists and historians and many volunteers from Metro Parks on hand. And so kids could get a stamp if you went to each of those destinations. So if you turned in your full passport, you were eligible for a drawing at the end of the day to get some great prizes, like day passes to Sportsplex and that sort of thing. So it was really successful. We had fantastic turnout. People were amazed by the beauty of these pieces of land, and they started to tell us their stories. Thanks to so many members of the design team and the Metro Parks team, we had the time to listen over the course of the day. We had hundreds of people respond and fill out this long questionnaire. I couldn't believe the number of people who sat down and took the time to really tell us answers to these questions that absolutely shaped our process moving forward. So this was something we'd never tried before. Usually you're in a room like this with Post-its and pictures, and it's not that much fun. But this was really fun. They were 2 very, very hot days, and we had a blast. What's most fun about it is that we have embodied the voice of the people of this county into the work that resulted. I want to also acknowledge that the acquisition of the Southeast Davidson Regional Park is also thanks to the Joe C. Davis Foundation that has strategically acquired, I believe, 27 different parcels to add into the Metro Land Bank. And they were also a phenomenal partner in this process. So let's start with Stones River Bend. These parks are particularly special because they carry a lot of stories and history. They have the layers that have built Nashville over centuries. All these layers are buried in these sites. Our job is to carefully reveal those layers, honor those layers, while satisfying the needs of a regional park for sport, athletic, and and passive recreation. Some of the layers that are remarkable in both sites, their character is very different, but they share a lot of similar stories that really are our story of Central Tennessee. And that is the Native American occupation, thousands of years of Native American occupation of these sites, colonial occupation of these sites, the tragic history of enslaved workers on these sites, even early industrial history. There was a phosphate mine on the Stones River Bend Park. All the way through to the 21st century parks and recreation needs of our citizens. So these parks carry a kind of portrait of who we are as a citizenship. These are the traces that are left behind. This became a really interesting part of the dialogue with the public. They said, as the county expands, as the city expands, we're losing farmland, we're losing these kinds of beautiful, bucolic places. Is there a way to meet our recreational needs while preserving the cultural landscape of agriculture? That was a really interesting challenge. You also have a rich ecological history to these sites. A lot of those ecologies evolved in this partnership with farmland, with grazing and clearing and forest management came a very rich ecology. Could these parks balance a cultural legacy, an ecological legacy, and recreation? We think the answer is yes. So the first read of this park, Stones River is near Hermitage and Donaldson. And you arrive here, the stone hall is just about here. And this very simple, like, kind of concept of the site is that there's lots of energy and arrival at this arrival. This is the place to put the ball fields, the disc golf, all the different kind of sport activities. And then as you move down and you're completely encircled by the river, it gets quiet and calm, and in some ways you're taken into the past. So on the right is a sort of ideogram showing mountain bikes and cyclocross and disc golf and soccer and all those things. And as you move, those activities start to sort of peter out, and you start to see livestock and animals and wildlife and birds and fish as you move into the site. So in this way, this project is a kind of transect of that cultural history of Nashville. This is the master plan. I'll just walk you through. Here is the river circumnavigating the entire site, and it's essentially landlocked. It's surrounded really on three sides, if you will, by river. And that contributes to the sense of being taken back in time. You really have the sense of being in a remote and faraway place, but you're right in the city. The entry drive comes along here, and we're proposing to bring it up into the site, right here. and you come into this hilltop complex that I'll zoom in and show you that in just a second. The first part would be, the first area you come to is more field recreation, field sport, a playground immediately upon coming into the site. And then as you move further into the site, a farm interpretation center, a farm maintenance center, and then camping and hiking trails around the rest of what was the farm. This is the Lytle Bend farm. So zooming in on the farm center, if we don't want to lose this piece of our heritage, this agricultural history, what if rather than continuing a farm, we looked to innovative management and maintenance techniques? What if the management equipment, instead of gang mowers, was four-legged mowers or moors? What if we engaged in rotational grazing as a sustainable way for managing our open space? Now, agriculture is not something that really happens in the city very much. So rather than calling it agriculture, we're interested in calling it alternative maintenance. Now, this could be an affordable way to manage a tremendous amount of open space. The open space is what people come to enjoy. But we're also honoring the cultural heritage of productive agriculture, but in the most sustainable way. So when we look at this land use diagram, you can see that all the gold is 35% of this park. 35% not manned with manned mowing equipment, but rather rotational grazing could be an incredible innovation that I think could put Nashville on the map nationally as a sustainable and innovative management tool for their parks and open space. The native grasslands of Tennessee are one of the most rapidly disappearing ecologies in the United States. The Southeast Grassland Initiative, led by Dwayne Estes, is doing terrific work to acquire the remnant prairies that still remain in Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Here we had the idea of, rather than the fescue that's there, what if we were to restore the native Tennessee grasslands that are palatable to livestock, and use the animals to graze the open space while restoring this very precious native ecology. This all can work, and I think could be an incredible innovation for the city. Meanwhile, here on the eastern half of the park, meeting all of the recreational needs that we heard from the county to make this a regional park. Here are the grazed areas. In the lighter gold, we're thinking those could be pure restoration grasslands. They can be managed with bush hogging, so that's just once a year as opposed to maintained like lawn. And the southern half, rotational grazing. Now the way that works is you have a herd that has permanent fencing around a big paddock and then subdivided with electric fence that you drop. The herd moves to the next bay, the old fence put up, and they eat for 48 hours, and then they move to the next one. So you can rotationally graze the animals to maintain the open space. All of the maintenance roads in between become the hiking and walking trails for the public. And then this is the kind of incredible potential if Metro Parks has its own herd. They could go to manage the open space in other parks. Some of the other advantages here is that you distribute sustainable and clearly organic nutrients, because nothing's in them but grass. You're distributing organic nutrients to improve the biodiversity in the soil, the health, the biological health of the fields. Meanwhile, you're keeping out invasive plants and maintaining the open space. Why this hasn't been done all over the United States before, I really don't know, because I think it's a terrific idea. And Chloe and I have been working for the past 5 years at a park in Auckland, New Zealand called Cornwall Park, where about 300 acres of this park is maintained with cattle and sheep, and the public are all in amongst it. And it's a remarkably successful precedent for this work. So the phasing for the park, we're showing phase 1 here is the most intensive recreational use. Phase 2 would be the management of the open space. And as much of a design as it is a design, it's also a management plan, frankly, to reduce costs. And then phase 3 is this more field sport area. These costs are absolutely at the highest master plan level. Conceptual numbers, don't get too attached to them. because there's schematic design, design development, and construction documentation. And we've also included a 30% contingency, even at this master planning level of cost estimates. So this is the limit of phase one, creating an entry road to the hilltop. And for those of you who remember this as Ravenwood Golf Course, this is where the clubhouse and parking was. So again, it's the most disturbed site at the top of the hill, previously disturbed. So we're able to put that back. And it also has the best views out across the site. So it's a great place to put our initial energy for the park. So this is zooming into that hilltop. So here is the proposed entry drive coming up. You would turn, and you have parking for, I believe, 100 cars here and another 30 cars here. And then you can, this is also the accessible parking. And then you have 4 tennis courts, multi-use courts, including basketball. And then this really simple gesture. It's just a double row of trees, but it functions almost like a shady porch at the highest point of the hill for looking out. What you look out on is a multi-purpose field, a large open-air pavilion, bathrooms here, bathrooms in this small pavilion. This is an overlook that looks out toward the farmland, and then smaller pavilions and a very large regional playground. So this one complex really meets the primary needs that were expressed by the public. The bigger park expresses those other cultural and ecological goals. So this is just a snapshot of what it looks like now at the hilltop, these beautiful, majestic trees that we would preserve. And this is how the passive field could look. A lot of the land can be used now, it just needs to be maintained, but the focus would be first up on the hilltop. This is an image of Cornwall Park that I was just mentioning, and these are the sheep grazing. There are stiles, people can walk over the fields, and but mostly they stay in the laneways in between fields. So you get full access to the views and the landscape on what are basically the maintenance roads of the park. And then this is an open grassland. This is a project we did in Pennsylvania. This is the September 11th memorial we designed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. So now to turn to Southeast, Southeast Davidson, this is a really different kind of place. You can feel that it's made up of many different pieces of land. So trying to bring one voice to this property was a real challenge. And what we realized is this one operates in a very different way. This one is a collection of parks. It's actually a lot of different parks that amalgamate to create a regional park. And look at this, absolutely beautiful. And this is what the public said we want to preserve, except maybe the water tower, but we need the water. But they loved this idea. Now, this is one of the most, or if this is the most, racially diverse community in Davidson County. Bhutanese, Sudanese, Burmese, all African countries, Middle Eastern countries. It was absolutely amazing, the people who turned out. And what did they want? They wanted to talk about food, growing food, and preparing food. And we thought that was absolutely fascinating, particularly given the agricultural history of this site. We also have these things to deal with, the massive power lines that at first we were like, wow, what are we going to do about that? And then after a while we thought, what if we light them in interesting ways? What if they become an iconic piece of the park? They're not going away. So let's transform them into something really interesting. So this is how the narrative that I just described went from all these different park pieces and then to ideas of garden, sport, festival, farm, and food as the different destinations. You come to this park from many different ways around the perimeter. It's not like Stones River where you arrive at one portal and you explore in one direction. So here's the master plan of the park. This is the area that we're looking at grazing. This is community gardens and vegetable production at the Moore Historic Farm. This would be festival grounds, and by the way, phase one that we're proposing. And then completing Crossings Boulevard as originally planned with a few alterations, putting athletic fields here near Cane Ridge High School, and then this responding to the community's desire for some wandering botanical collection, some flower gardens, something that really announces the entrance to the park and a place to wander, along with dog park and the other amenities that they requested. So here is a breakdown that you can see of the Gateway Gardens is 1.8%, sports facilities, the productive gardens, the riparian restoration project, and then the grasslands comes out to about 17%. But 40% could be forest. We think that's an appropriate use to clean up and sustain the forest of the park. Here is an idea about the cultivation gardens, community gardens, and the historic gardens around the Moore property, and creating a threshold on both sides of Old Hickory Boulevard so that you have the sense of entering a threshold. That's going to help you understand that the park is on both sides of the road. This is again in response to the community, these cultivation community and homestead gardens. The phasing we were proposing, this is where those gardens are. The work is kind of happening there already around the Moore House. Phase 1 is this festival ground. Phase 2 is the forestry management and open space management. And then phase 3 is more the athletic fields. This is the estimate, again, at the master plan level with a 30% contingency. Phase 1 being this festival ground down here. That's the extent of phase 1. Both of these, I should remember, are connecting to the greenways. So really threading those through. The greenway comes along here. This is opposite crossing, so you come right into the park, taking advantage of the existing stoplight for safe entry. And then you drive to the right and the left. You don't immediately arrive into a parking lot, which we don't think is, well, it's not very gracious and it's not very safe. And then you turn and you come through a treed parking lot here, or more parking over here. Regional playground here at the appropriate setbacks from a creek, a boardwalk that goes through the creek, large pavilion, entry gardens, again responding to that desire for some flowering plants and a sense of threshold, medium pavilions that you can rent for picnics and family gatherings, and then small pavilions here on the other side. And this is a multi-purpose field for big concert events or outdoor films and that sort of thing. This area is naturally a wetland, so putting a boardwalk through here in an effort to educate people about the ecology of the place. These are some precedent images. This is Shelby Park in Memphis, Tennessee, designed by Field Operations. And then just that sense of a great big gathering space surrounded by trees that really feels like Nashville. And this is a glimpse of what those entry gardens might be. We're also thinking we need partnerships, that maybe community partners would come in and take a garden and manage that garden. We're really trying to design maintenance as we're designing new ideas for these parks. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Thomas. Both were just absolutely amazing. Any questions for Thomas while he's here? Great work, very ambitious, and both would be just absolutely fantastic. So hopefully we can start executing some of these phases.
So this afternoon, we'll be presenting the two plans to the mayor for her input. And then the final public open house for Ravenwood, Stones River Bend will be tomorrow night. And the final public meeting for Antioch Southeast will be on Saturday, December 9th at 10:30. 16th. Yes. I forgot the one.
Repeat that one more time. Sorry.
And Jackie's not
It's
here.
on your, it's on there. Yeah, it's on your,
on Jackie's report?
special events.
Okay, all right. So our intent after the discussion with the mayor is to move directly into design for phase 1 with the intent of requesting funds for construction in FY19.
Great, thank you. Capital projects update, Tim. Any highlights or changes from the last meeting that?
One new one, Fort Negley Cultural Landscape Plan. This is a grant that the Metro Historical Commission sought in coordination with us. It was a grant application that you all approved. So it is in the queue for bidding at purchasing right now. And that's the main change.
Jackie is not here today, so Monique, I think you're going to cover the special activities and events.
Yeah, just a few highlights of special activities and events. This Saturday at 12:15 p.m., we'll have the groundbreaking ceremony for Oakwood Park. And on the 14th of this month will be the Season to Remember, a ceremony held by the Metro Police Victim Intervention Program. It'll be at 5:45 p.m. in Centennial Park to acknowledge the passing and the lives of all the young people in the city. And then finally, let's see, there was one other thing I wanted to highlight on here. The Howard Allen Homelessness Memorial Ceremony. That'll be on December 16th at 9 a.m. at Riverfront Park Court of Flags. So that's it for those.
All right, moving on to department updates. Any updates for any department heads? All right. Before we get to the report of the director, and Monique and I were talking recently, and I just wanted to bring up and make a suggestion. It seems lately, and I guess maybe it's the growth of Nashville and all that's going on, there's lots of requests for private usage of public land. A lot of them. And not a couple will come up from the board probably early next year. I was going to suggest maybe in the February board meeting or committee meeting, a policy meeting, we just kind of start talking about our position on that, because it's a board decision how we approach that, how we handle it. And we just got to be careful with our public land. And you know, as Nashville gets bigger and things get more condensed, I think the encroachment starts to become into our parks. We've talked about we've become the de facto parking lot, or people have tried to make us a de facto parking lot of Nashville at times. We've resisted that. But I just think as a board, we should have some discussions about that. So I'm asking we'll start on a committee meeting maybe at 11 or 11:15 in the February meeting to start that discussion. And just one minor point, our January board meeting's on January 2nd. Would you like to keep January 2nd, or would you like to move to the 9th?
I move to move.
Move to move. We got to move to move. All right, we'll move to the 9th. Let's see. I think that is all I had. Yes. Now we'll move to the director's report.
All right, just a few items I'd like to mention. Our department has been working with the social services department, as we have in the past several years. Sherry Hips and her staff have been working very closely with social services and a lot of other departments in Metro to prepare for winter warming shelters. We may end up opening a shelter as soon as this weekend, depending on the temperature. We have designated 2 regional community centers to serve as warming shelters of last resort. Again, we're coordinating with social services, so again, I'd like to reiterate that those shelters won't open until all of the other beds around town are full. So I'd like to, in advance, thank our community recreation staff, our maintenance staff, our park police staff, and revenue producing special services staff and special events staff, and everybody just the entire parks department, let me just say it that way. Everybody for putting your best foot forward and coming to the needs of some of the citizens in our city. We are continuing to have conversations with the finance department about the FY19 budget and requests, and so we will be working on that continually through till June. We're always thinking about budget around here, and again, I want to thank the department for being so conscientious about our very lean budget. And I also wanted to let the park board know you should have received a notice about the employee holiday party, which is this Friday, December 8th from 11 to 2. You're welcome to attend. Please do. We all have a good time. We'll be eating and playing games and just fellowshipping with each other. So you're welcome to attend.
Is there a dunking booth?
No dunking booth this year. I think the last time we did that, Tommy was in the dunking booth. but we're not doing that this year.
Yeah, there you go. Gambling.
No, I won't be doing that. No. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. Any other announcements, requests for future agenda items, open items, anything? If not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.